angels willing to hold us in their arms. When our worth was stone, our ashes, and we both passed on. Let forever mean forever and carry on.
Good afternoon. Wow, it's a different day today. It's rainy, dreary, crappy, but at least we got a break in the temperatures, so it's nice to have the windows open for a day. I get so tired of even being cooped up, I can't even begin to tell you. Anyway, wow, crazy kind of weekend. I do have something that I want to talk about on the monologue today. I want to talk about this raid on Area 51. It seems to be all the buzz right now, but I'm probably going to be pretty insulting to those that like to mock those people. Deal with it. I never been the truth. I never been my thoughts, and I'm not going to start now. I'm just not, and we'll get to that here in a moment. Happy Prime Day for those that participate in Amazon Prime Day. We didn't put back any funds or anything like that to do it. And to be honest, I've been looking at the deals all day, and there's some great deals. There really are some great deals. But you know, it just kind of it is what it is. Life straws are like $9.89 or something like that. It's pretty cheap. And I know there was an issue last year with life straws. I would say probably this year you're probably safe to buy life straws. I highly doubt that Amazon would take a chance on that again to make a second year in a row. What happened last year is apparently there was some counterfeit life straws that were being sold, and Amazon did promptly refund the money to all of those buyers, which is good for them. Kudos to them for that. But I doubt you'll see the same issue arise again. But by all means, if you've got the funds and there's items you need, you jump on over there and make sure to get in on some of the deals. Over the weekend, I'm sure most of you know, I put out a video about a hydration system / backpack. It was the one that we were originally interested in, the Camelback Motherload, and they are gone. It didn't take long, and I think, I want to say at the time I posted that video, I want to say that the black ones were already gone when I did that, and it was shortly after that that the Coyote ones were gone. The only ones they had were the ABU digital camo, and I do have some local friends here that got in on 2 of those, and a heck of a deal for $40. That is one heck of a deal. Nice looking pack, really is. But as I said in the video, if I had that opportunity, if you put what we have and we put the Motherload side by side and told me I had to choose one, I think I would choose the ones that we got. Just because I think they're going to work out really well. That little side bag, 10-liter side bag, that thing is going to be great. It really is. To be able to put your items that you're going to need most often and be able to just detach that one single bag away from the entire pack and take it down with you where you're building a fire or where you're filtering water or whatever the case may be. I think it's going to work out well. I think it's going to work out really, really well. I did update the things that were missing in the Amazon store, and I'll show you that here in just a second, but I did update those items. There were items I noticed that I was telling you guys were in the Amazon store, and I didn't have them in there, or for some reason they disappeared out of there, like possibly they sold out, because I've noticed that happens. If a seller, if I have something listed in the Amazon store, or like on the old website where I had stuff listed on the home page, if a seller sold out of something, the entire thing would just disappear. So that could have been what happened. I would have swore I put them in there. However, I did it again, and they should be there now. So there was not a show yesterday on the podcast. That show will air this coming Sunday. I will do the show that I had intended to do last night on the podcast. So the lady that runs everything, she was out of town for the weekend, taking a, I'm sure, well-deserved break. And so that's why we didn't have a podcast last night. Trying to think of any big updates as far as the Watchman news or us is concerned. It's been a pretty relaxing weekend for the most part. Didn't really, to be honest, get a whole lot done other than go through backpacks, and I did that. Jen's backpack has a lot of work yet to do, but that's not going to be any sweat. Things are much more organized. I have not gotten a video out yet for you guys. There are a couple of issues in my system that I want to deal with before I make a video. To make it quick and simple, my bag's too heavy. I need, even with everything that I left out from my last bag, it's still quite heavy. However, there are a couple items in there that I don't need the entire item. Like, for instance, dishwashing detergent, okay? I've got a full, I think it's an 8-ounce bottle or something in there. I don't need that. All I need is a little 1-ounce bottle of detergent to be able to do up my dishes and stuff. That's all I need. So it's a matter of us ordering some bottles. I'm going to order some 1-ounce bottles. That would be ideal for that purpose, and to put things like heat for an alcohol stove, things like that. Instead of carrying that big old bottle, I want to break it down and only carry a part of it. Like the dish detergent, I would think that 1 ounce would be plenty. The heat, I'm going to try to go with 3 ounces. I feel comfortable with 3 ounces of the heat. Mind you, I've also got a folding stove in my pack as well. So I think I'm going to cut that down to 3 ounces, and then I'll probably cut lighter fluid down to 1 ounce, because I do have a big Ronsonol bottle of lighter fluid in my pack, and I'm probably going to cut that down to 1 ounce. That right there is going to take a fair amount of weight off of the pack. There's not a whole lot less that's in there, that I can do, there's not I'm trying to say there's not a whole lot more that I can take out, to be honest. All I can do is kind of lighten up certain items that I have in there. I do want to put a different type of cooking system in there. Right now, currently, I have that entire cook set that we have. I've got the entire thing in there. That will also be a huge difference in weight when I get just a small little set that's like a 2 or 4-piece set, probably a 2-piece set. And I may not even go that route. I may go with a stainless steel type of GI type of canteen that's got the cup, and I may go that route as well. So just depends. I haven't made a decision yet how I want to go with that, or even looked that much yet into different items. I do like the idea of going with the GI style type of canteen, the ones that come with the cup that you can cook in as well. So I do like that idea. But here's the thing. I've got a hydration bladder. I don't really need a canteen per se. Yeah, that would be another way that I could store water, but I think I'm wanting to go with something collapsible when it comes to storing water. Something that when empty, it can just be folded up and put in the pack, and I won't use up the room that it would as if it was completely inflated. So anyway, a lot of work yet to do on those, but I did get a lot done with them. And as soon as I get these amounts taken care of on those items, then I'll probably get that video shot, give you guys a good tour of the backpack. The hydration bladder, oh my God, I love that thing. That is like the nicest setup that I think I've seen yet. and that was from Source Tactical, the WXP 3-liter water bladder, and that's in our Amazon store too. Let me take care of that stuff real quick, and then we'll get on our subject and go from there. On our Amazon affiliate, we are up to $27.23. So I don't think that changed from last week. I think that's still the same. I don't see any more items ordered or anything. So anyway, that's that's more than I thought we were going to get this month, to be honest. So I appreciate it. I appreciate it heavily. So for those that may be wondering, we are an Amazon affiliate. There's a link in the description of the videos. If you do shop on Amazon and you use that link to go to Amazon to purchase your products, it will throw a little bit our way for the sale. It doesn't cost you anything more. Throws a little bit our way. We, in turn, are going to use that for, review type of items, prepping type of items that we will use to review on the show, as well as, be able to increase our prepping supplies. So it kind of has a double purpose there. So that'll probably show up then tomorrow, Evil. I would think that that'll show up tomorrow. So, and thank you very much. So yeah, that's one way to get there, is the link in the description of the videos. Or you can go to our homepage at thewatchmannews.com. We have the Amazon affiliate link right there, the exact same link that's in the description of the videos. But what's different now on the news site is we also have the Amazon store there, and I've actually been putting a little bit of time in the Amazon store, and I'm going to be adding a ton of stuff. Just bear with me while I do it. As we go through things, I will be adding them. As we buy things, I will be adding them. So there's a lot of stuff I need to add yet. Over this weekend, I added several items. For instance, that compass right there, I added over the weekend. Somebody had asked the question about compasses in a Facebook group I'm in, and a model similar to this, the Suunto A10, was highly, highly recommended. However, I put the A30 in the Amazon store because it has like a glow-in-the-dark ring around the outside of the compass. Plus, it has a couple of other important features. And for $22, that's not too much for a compass. So it came highly recommended. I also put these little medical packs on there too. These will be the packs, I think, that we get when we build our individual first aid kits, our small ones that we carry on our person. I believe we're going to use that largely for the reason that, if they've got a picture, yeah, they do. Let it load up here. It's got a rip-away style fastener. In other words, first of all, it is Molly, which will work great with our packs. But beyond that, it's got Velcro there, as you can see. So if you need that pack, instead of having to sit there and fight with the Molly and undo the Molly, all you literally do is grab the handles and rip it right off and take it to where you need it to get to work. So, there is rhyme or reason why I'm putting different items in here. And believe it or not, I do get a fair amount of people asking me, what do you suggest for this, or what do you suggest for that? And I think that's largely because, number one, people know that I'm not going to just rush to the brand name that everybody gets all googly-eyed over. I don't do that. I don't believe in that. There are some items that you are better off going on with the big, name on the block, so to speak. But that's not true with everything. In fact, I find far the opposite. With most items, you can usually find an inexpensive option, or at least a less expensive option, that will fit your purposes just fine. So, and real quick, I was going to show you, and I had it right there. We had talked about backpacks. This is the one that we got. It's in our Amazon store. You can check it out. We did get it for $40 from Woot, but they sold out of them. So unfortunately, they're $65 normally. That is the pack that we got. And then the hydration bladder that we got is under the water and water filtration, and this is the hydration bladder that we got. and that thing is incredible. These are the water filters that we got, the Sawyer Squeeze, and then we got these adapters and this adapter set. And the reason for that, and I know I've explained this before, but I'll run through it again real quick. On these hydration bladders, now take a look at this and understand that this blue cap here screws on this end of that Sawyer mini filter, or Sawyer Squeeze filter, okay? So you take the mouthpiece off and you put that adapter on there. And here's the beauty of it. When you need to fill up, and I'm going to try to find a picture here that'll show it, when you need to fill up, your mouthpiece just unclips right from the end of that tube, your bite valve. You push the button, you pull out the mouthpiece. That adapter will fit right in that mouth where the mouthpiece goes or the bite adapter goes. I don't have to open my pack. I don't have to take the bladder out of my pack. I don't have to do any of that to be able to refill it. And that's as efficient as what you're going to get as far as filling a water bladder inside of a pack. You're not going to get any more efficient than that. And that's the name of the game. Everything I'm trying to do, I'm trying to make it as convenient and as efficiently, quickly done as I possibly can, because that's going to be a very important, attribute to anything that you do. You want to limit your exposure as much as possible, especially places like where you would be gathering water, okay? Because other people are likely going to be going to those places to do the same thing. And the whole idea is, or should be, that you remain hidden. I mean, you could be Rambo if you want, but it's definitely not smart, and it's definitely not in our plans. So anyway, that's the model of thinking that I use when I design these systems. I largely use things like reliability, affordability, and efficiency. Those are the key things that I use in making these decisions. So I do get a fair amount of people that come to me and ask about different items or ask what I recommend for this or that or the other thing. And I'll tell you, I really do. That water bladder is a really nice water bladder. Backpack, really nice backpack. These are the other water bladders that we've got, by the way. We've got a pair of these as well. They're just, they're inexpensive. They're kind of cheaply made. My big concern with these are the bladder material themselves seems really thin and flimsy. That is a concern to me. It would seem to me that it would be pretty easy to tear one or to poke a hole in one. That was my concern with it. The other thing is it's not included within a backpack type of system. Okay, that was a concern of mine as well. And I'll be going in all this in detail on Sunday night's podcast, so I shouldn't probably do the Sunday night podcast right now, I guess. But this is important stuff here, and we've already got 2 bags to carry on our bodies, okay, as it stands. So adding a third, like this particular water bladder system here, would be rough. It would be hard to do, because you got to understand, we have a communications bag, right, which is also, by the way, in the store, under miscellaneous gear. Right here is the exact bag that we use for our communications bags, and these we put on the front of our body. They are a what do you call it, babe? Crossbody. They're a crossbody design. It's just one strap. Jen, that's what Jen has to have, okay, because she needs to be able to function with her crutches and not have straps falling off and all that good stuff. So it's best if Jen has a crossbody, and it seems to work really well. But we put that bag on our front, okay, and then the backpack on, and everything. I'll tell you what, it's a nice, neat package the way it works out. It really is nice. And my radio bag's a little weighty. It's probably heavier than it should be. But I've got a lot of stuff in it. I've got some stuff in my bag that Jen doesn't have in hers. Not a whole lot, but I've got a shortwave radio that she doesn't have in hers, which includes a total of 6 AA batteries. Every bit of that weight adds up. Then I've got a programming cable and a CD in my bag that she doesn't have in hers. A couple little items beyond that. I mean, nothing too major. For the most part, we have identical bags. So, anyway, not a bad little deal. For $16, that's a great little bag. Great little bag. Anyway, that's our Amazon store. We've got a lot of stuff there. It's going to be added to the solar stuff that we have. It's there. These cords, by the way, from Capshe US, if you're looking for a good quality USB cable, right here. These things are incredible. They are so nice. And they're Capshe US is the company. And the quality of these things are absolutely top notch. Really, really nice. Metal, the connectors are metal. The housings are metal. You very rarely ever see that in the world of charge connectors and whatnot today. Really well made and good price too. $6. You get 2 of them for $6. A gray one and a black one. I don't know. You might be able to choose. Yeah, you can get gray or black, or I think you can get all black. So you can get all black for a little bit cheaper, I think. So. But yeah, really, really awesome cords. 6.6 feet, and the cool thing is, if they've got a picture of it, yeah, they do. The cool thing is they come with that little leather keeper, so that when you're, either when you're like that and don't need a real long length, you can coil it up and do like what they did, or when you're just storing it, you can coil it up, put that on it, and it keeps it real nice. And it comes right on the cable. Again, I really can't recommend them anymore. But anyway, just to kind of give you an idea of what we got going on, and there will be a lot of stuff added. So bear with it. There's a lot of items that we have already gotten, and I just don't have in there. And hopefully there are a lot of items yet to get that I'll be adding into there. And these are all. These things aren't just thrown in there so people click on them and it gives us a little bit of money. That's not why these items are there. They're there because these items I've either used or I've been highly recommended. In any case, they're items I trust. So, and if I ever run into a situation to where for some reason there's an item that I have here that I don't trust or can no longer trust, it will be gone. And I will very likely let you know. I will make a point of it, okay? We need to out these bad companies. We really do. So, anyway, that's what's up with the Amazon store. I spent way more time on it today than what I ever intended to, but there is a lot going on there. And hopefully it will guide folks into maybe picking some inexpensive alternatives for prepping, because I see a lot of it. I see it all the time. Had a big discussion in one of the Facebook groups this weekend on NVGs, night vision goggles. I mean, if you got several $1,000s to throw down and not bat an eye, go for it. Especially if you like being defeated with a flashlight. But you've got the alternative like we chose, which was the $105 night vision camera. It's essentially what it is. And, you shine a flashlight into that, it's not going to blind the user. It's just going to turn off the infrared and give them a nice view of you. That's all it's going to do. So even the cheap $100 option has advantages over the $3,000 option. And like I suggested to the person that brought it up, because they were looking for advice, I said, if you're going to spend that much money on something, buy thermal. Get you thermal, and then just get one of these cheap $100 and something ones to be able to identify what your thermal sees. Okay, because a thermal, you're not going to get a clear picture of who it is or anything like that. You're just going to see a figure. Okay, but once you identify that there's a figure there, you could turn around and use the other system to try to identify who that figure is. So, that was my advice. I like the idea of thermal much more than I do infrared. Not infrared, but night vision. I just do. It tells much more of a story. They can both be defeated, It is what it is. It's technology. Technology always has an anti-technology. So, anyway, that's our Amazon store. And real quick to finish up, for those that refuse to shop Amazon, and hey, I understand that. If you want to support us, there is one other method. We have a donate button on the website at thewatchmannews.com. You click donate in the menu there, and it will bring up the PayPal donation page. And just so folks know, it will say donate to Transforming Disabilities. That is us. It will say Purpose the Watchman News donation. We're just the way our account is set up under Transforming Disabilities. I'm not going to go through all that again. I've done it several times, but there's a reason why, and it's not some ulterior motive or anything like that. Just trying to make wise business decisions. So, anyway, we've got that out of the way. Let's talk a little bit about this raid on Area 51. So, it's made a lot of media attention here this past weekend. A lot. Let me have a sip of coffee. And it's funny for me because I'm watching all of these red-leaning, conservative-leaning people mock this. And I'm laughing at them because once they ever get off their lazy asses to actually do something, then maybe we can move forward in this country. But for now, I got to give props to the guy that probably lives in his mom's basement that set up an event that has now gone viral. And although I think the purpose is kind of useless, what are you going to do? Raid Area 51 and find the actual quote-unquote moon landing spot? I mean, there's not going to be much there. I would rather see people raid things like the Federal Reserve, for instance. That would be cool, I think this energy could be much better used at much better places. But the takeaway from this is how something like this can get started, how quickly it can escalate, and how quickly something could be done. And mind you, something would have to be done quickly. If we planned on doing something like exposing the Federal Reserve or something similar, you would have to be on it and on it quick. You couldn't spend a month planning it out and all that, because before it ever happened, it would get ended. Guaranteed. They have entire teams put in place to do this. They have entire operating procedures put together in order to stop people from trying to do the right thing. So while the raid on Area 51 is foolish in a sense, it started out as a joke to begin with and just gained traction. I certainly am not going to mock and laugh at somebody that was able in a short time to get over 1 million people interested enough to click that they were going. Now, 1 million people's not going to show up. I doubt 1,000 people will show up. And most of those showing up are just there for the kicks. Nobody's interested in trying to raid Area 51. It's a joke. It's a joke. However, we can learn from it if we choose. We can sit there like absolute brainless, mind-dead morons and mock them, or we can learn from them. I choose to learn. I choose to learn. I'm sick of the brain-dead people that have nothing to offer except criticism. Sick of them. We've got enough of that in this country, if you couldn't tell. We've got media all in a frenzy over something Trump said the other day and twisting it and contorting it. And I know some people are going to say, well, that's what they do. Well, yeah, it is. Okay? But sometimes it's beyond a level of being okay. You know, Trump said a very true statement the other day, tweeted it out. You know, something to the effect of, and this is not, I'm paraphrasing here, something to the effect of all these people that want to make all these sweeping changes in this country, why don't they go back to where they came from and make those changes there? And boy, the media's in a frenzy. Oh, racist Trump, racist Trump. There is not a damn thing racist about that. You know, mind you, I don't like Trump. My support for him is as minimal as it gets. My support for him is that he is the President of the United States. That's where it starts, that's where it ends, because my feelings about Trump is he's a useless piece of shit. Plain and simple. He is no more anti-establishment as my ass. So let's get this straight. He is the establishment. You don't drain the swamp by filling it with bigger gators. So let's get that out of the way. He's a joke. But nonetheless, once in a great while, he says something blunt, honest, and most importantly, true. And I think that's important. Because what that does is it motivates, or should motivate, we the people. Should. But it doesn't. Now, these die-hard proud Americans, all they're going to do is go and vote again. Because they can't figure it out. Same ones that make fun of liberals for not being able to figure out. We're in a mess, folks. We're in a mess. And if we want to fix this, it is up to us to fix this. Us. We, the people. We need to start by stop pawning everything else on everybody else. Stop making everything somebody else's job. Because we're too comfortable. Our life is too convenient. We can't be bothered. You see how the two subjects are coinciding? This joke raid on Area 51 and truly fixing what ails this country? They go side by side. Voting to fix the country is as foolish as it gets. Not going to fix it. You can't replace enough of the puzzle pieces with the right pieces at once to make a true difference. You cannot do it. Won't work. And even if you do get things through, which seems like a major task, you'll have some jackass federal judge block it. How many times has that happened to Trump already? Again, it's not that I hate the guy. It's not that I'm a never Trumper. No, I'm just somebody with common sense. That's all. Somebody with common sense that don't get all emotional about somebody chanting something that sounds good. Maybe I've been lied to too many times in my life. Maybe that's what it is. But we can learn from this. Once we understand that it comes back to we the people to fix this country. Once we can get that through our thick skulls and stop sticking our hand out and wanting the government to do for us. That goes for both blue and red team. Then we'll fix this. But it will be on us, and it will be by doing things like raiding and kicking their asses out of their office. That's how you fix this country. You garner these amount of people, and you show up at different locations, and you do not leave until the occupants do. And I guarantee you do that in a few offices, and you're going to see our so-called quote-unquote representatives change their tunes real quick. Their job isn't going to be for fun and money and control. And no, they're going to take it a hell of a lot more serious once they realize that you do too. If all is serious that you take it is by going and voting, you're a joke. Plain and simple. We got men and women each and every day signing that dotted line, putting their lives on the line. Whether or not we agree with the reasons for why they go to war, these brave men and women are doing it every single damn day. And don't dare claim to me that your vote means something. I hope one of these brave men and women wipe their ass with your ballot. Because by not standing up for the Constitution, not putting this country in the right direction, you are disrespecting every single one of them. I don't care what damn political flag you fly. It's upsetting to see somebody come up with something and be able to gain 1 million people, and get mocked by those too lazy to put down the remote control. No, I don't support the idea of raiding Area 51. I think it's lunacy at its highest. But the concept is gold. Now, what you choose to do with that is entirely up to you. But you've got a nation that's in trouble. And it's dying. Plain and simple. And you got a nation of people that are more worried about who's playing the next James Bond or Jane Bond or whatever the hell they're going to call the freak. What is wrong? Blows my mind. Blows my mind. Anyway, let's get on to some headlines. This whole thing pisses me off because the people that claim to be such proud, patriotic Americans are some of the laziest, useless eaters I've ever seen in my life. Oh, but I voted. Well, good for you. Maybe you can do something useful like drive off a cliff. Anyway, yeah, I know. I'm not in a bad mood. I'm not. Believe it or not, I'm not. I had a great day. Great day. I don't like fake. I don't like lies. I don't like fake. I don't like... And that's all I see today. That's all I see. Bunch of fake bullshit people. And I'm speaking to the choir here, so you guys know. I know I'm speaking to the choir here. But my hope is that by me being a total jackass about this stuff is that it rubs off. Because that's the only way we're going to stop this, folks. The only way we're going to change the mindset in these people are to be as blunt and honest as we can, and it's damn well not going to be politically correct. But I guarantee you, if we stop backing down from these, whatever the hell they are, now I am speaking mainly to the liberals, if we stop backing down to that and start standing back and pushing them back in their little holes, we'll see progress. We watched a video today, right? It was some screwed up type of dairy protest in a grocery store, and there were several women, there were a few kids there, a couple of quote unquote men there, right? At this dairy protest, the stupidest thing I think I've seen in a long damn time. And I was even saying to Jen, you know, how do they even claim to be men? How can you have any self-pride or dignity by going and pulling off such ignorance? It's crazy. Talking about how abused cows are for getting their milk. I'm telling you, there's one way to fix this. It's not pretty. But the ignorance has gone on far too long and gotten way out of control. But I thought you believed in free speech, Watchman. Yeah, you damn well I do. But I think sometimes free speech includes jacking somebody in the jaw that's ignorant. It's a fact. We have to be accountable for our actions. And if we're acting ignorant, we should be treated like we're acting ignorant. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And going and blocking people from being able to get to their items in a store that are innocent people, have nothing to do with your cause. That's ignorant. That's ignorant. I don't have nearly the problem with other types of protests for other types of reasons. But because abuse to the cows and in milking them? And the guys had beards, big beards. It's like, really? Those are stick-on, aren't they? Anyway, let's do some news before I piss more people off. Hey, sometimes it happens, folks. I believe in passion, and I believe in honesty, and that's why I do this the way that I do it. I don't go by a script. I don't, none of that. I might jot notes down. My paper today, I jotted down, oh, wrong paper. I'm like, what the hell? Wasn't talking about that. Oh, yeah, there's one other thing, too, that was in my notes. That literally all I've got wrote down for today's monologue is Monologue, Rating Area 51, and Facebook on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. That's just a reminder, by the way, that I'm not going to be streaming on Facebook. We have had, our viewership on Facebook has picked up, so I wanted to make another note of this. And I keep forgetting to do it. I'm going to try to remember. On Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, those are the day that Prepper Nurse 1, well, Sundays we're not live anyway. Duh. Okay, so Wednesdays and Fridays, we will not be broadcasting on Facebook. So those that watch on Facebook will need to come over to our YouTube stream. And the reason why is because we join up with Prepper Nurse 1 on those days. And it lags my computer out so bad that I can't moderate at all. In fact, I'm no longer going to be trying, and just so I know we got a couple of the mods for over there here, I'm no longer going to be trying to whack a hoe, right? That's going to be left up to you guys, because every week now, when I'm whacking hoes, I whack somebody unintentionally, an innocent person, and that's only because I'm lagging so bad. When the button actually takes effect that I clicked it, it's already over somebody else's name. So the whack-a-hoeing is going to be up to you guys, and I think of it as whack-a-mole. Anyway, so that's going to be up to you guys, but of course I'll be there and trying to take care of, other types of comments and stuff. But anyway, so for those that are watching on Facebook, Wednesdays and Fridays, you will have to come to YouTube to see the show. So I wanted to make a reminder of that. I'm going to try to remember to make some more reminders on it, as well as not forget to uncheck Facebook when I start the show. So anyway, let's finally get to some headlines, shall we? Let's see. Yellow vest demonstrators, I'm starting Saturday's news, by the way. I didn't tweet out a whole lot over the weekend, but I did get some stuff out. Yellow vest demonstrators take to Paris streets for 35th weekend. That's been going on for some time, so I don't think they're going away anytime soon. Russia's Proton M carrier rocket with Spectre RG Space Observatory on board blasts off. That was Saturday. U.S. and U.K. intel services plot fake news about Putin's inner circle via Soros and Browder entities, says a source. Also Saturday, Detroit cops arrest their own police commissioner at heated meeting over facial recognition. This is insane. Insane. We do need to look at this. Folks need to know what's going on. They really do. Let's see. A police board meeting escalated when Detroit cops tackled a police commissioner to the ground and arrested him at a heated hearing where protesters demonstrated against the city's controversial facial recognition scheme. Commissioner Willie Burton, now listen to this, was annoyed that the Board of Police Commissioners had held secret, closed-door meetings that he and the public were not allowed to attend, during which an expansion of the facial recognition scheme was planned, Metro Times reports. Now, does that sound to you like what the Constitution intended? That all of this stuff be out in the open for the public to see and to be, in approval of? Does that really sound like what our forefathers intended? Well, hell, the facial recognition itself isn't what our forefathers intended. Anyway, he attempted to call out the board on the issue at Thursday's meeting, but was told to be quiet by board chair Lisa Carter, who objected to him speaking for longer than his allotted time and then asked that he be removed. He said, if you throw me out of this office I am duly elected to, this disenfranchises 100,000 votes that I represent in the 5th District, Buron shouted as he was surrounded by 3 officers. You must throw us all out. Don't touch me, get your hands off me, Burton said as the officers attempted to remove him from his seat. He was dragged to the ground before being escorted from the room. Burton was arrested for disorderly conduct and was released after posting bail. A number of protesters who were at the meeting to voice their opposition to the controversial facial recognition scheme were held back by other officers. At least one protester was arrested. You see this? This is what they think of you. That you should have no say, that you shouldn't even know what they're doing. Now do you see where my attitude comes from? That's why I get so pissy about this whole voting thing. It's not going to fix anything. Going to this board and demanding every one of them leave the building and not come back will fix multiple issues. Again, like I said, you do this a few times, and these politicians are going to straighten right up real quick. Those inside deals that they're making, that extra money that they're getting for the inside deals, aren't going to be so enticing to them when they've got 100,000 screaming people outside their door wanting their heads. But until then, nothing will change. Let's see. Digitalization has arrived in hell. Siemens CEO shares death threat email from Adolf Hitler. Let's see. Not the real Adolf Hitler. One person killed in shooting in northern Tehran. Still Saturday, UK promises to release detained Iranian oil tanker if given assurances it won't go to Syria. I would have to say that would be about the brightest diplomatic move that the UK could use right now. You know, what they did was not right. Plain and simple. All right? You don't take other people's stuff. This is ridiculous. It's common sense. You don't take other people's property. You shouldn't interfere with other people's trade. Okay, this what's going on is, it blows my mind that some of these countries can get away with doing what they're doing to these other countries. It's economic terrorism, plain and simple. And to think that we're going to continue on and on and on committing this economic terrorism on all these other countries and that we're not going to get bit back is foolish. Foolish at best. It's crazy. Okay, demonstrators gather outside London's Belmarsh prison to support Tommy Robinson. Major power outage cripples Manhattan on anniversary of Great New York City blackout of 1977. And I'll tell you what, I think this was a little bit over-sensationalized as well. Look, the power was out for like a couple hours, I believe. That was it. Do we need to pay attention to it? Yeah. But we should have already been doing that. I've been screaming for people to prepare for grid down for years now. Many, many years. This should be a non-story. It really should. But it was heavily sensationalized, and I do find it awful coincidental, the timing of it. But it's going to be back up in the news a little bit further up, so let's see. Ready to protect U.S. and its assets, military warns 750,000 plus alien hunters not to storm Area 51. It's crazy. People don't realize it was a joke. And yeah, like I said, there'll be people that show up just because they want to be there. Hell, I want to be there, you know. But, I'm not going to be storming the base, right? But sure, I'd love to hang out there and maybe grill a few burgers and dogs and drink a couple beers and just have an enjoyable time. Why not? Sounds like fun thing. It really does. Let's see. Magnitude 7.3 earthquake strikes near Molucca Island in Indonesia. We're to Sunday, by the way. European Global Navigation Satellite System Galileo inoperable, users unable to use signals. From my understanding, this isn't electronic warfare, satellite warfare. There's some theories going around about that. I think it was just a technical issue. Period. That's it. I don't think there's some big major thing behind this. I really don't. I think they made a mistake. China likely tested missiles that can kill an aircraft carrier in the South China Sea. I wouldn't doubt that. Let's see. Douglas McKinnon, New York City is a warning. The blackout is coming. It was an opinion piece on Fox News. And, I believe the guy did a really good job on his article. There is one thing, if I can quickly find it, that I want to kind of point out in the article. Let's see. Let me guess. I'm not going to find it quick now. I mean, there's several things in here. Like here, while I have no connection, financial or otherwise, to any industry associated with this issue, my background in government and pure common sense tells me that power outage in New York City is a red warning flag of what is to come on a larger scale and must be seen that way. It is inevitable, and it is only a matter of time. And that's 100% correct. Right here, it's the paragraph after that. You have to make a plan to protect yourself and your family. It is irresponsible not to do so, because when a massive blackout does hit, you will be entirely on your own. No one will be riding to your rescue. And that is true. That is true. You won't hear a more truer statement than that. It's why we do what we do. One of the reasons why we do what we do, and that's why I took on the task of a podcast on Sunday nights, because this is something I'm very passionate about. I want people to be prepared, because the more people that are prepared, the less people that are going to have to be fought off or killed, right? So that the people that did prepare can protect their supplies. That's the reality of it. If we can get more people on board and prepping, that's less people that are going to have to go out and whichever way they choose to try to procure the items they need to sustain their life and their loved one's life. So it's important. But at the same time, I realize that in the prepping world, along with many other worlds, there is a level of elitism. Okay? And I'm here to bust that elitism straight in the mouth. Straight in the mouth. You don't have to have a Glock. Taurus makes a damn fine weapon. Much less expensive. You don't have to have an Olight or a Nightcore. We've talked about the Yonkers. Did a video on the Yonkers. Decent flashlights. Are they the best? Probably not. Will they work? Hell yeah. I love mine. I do. I love it. That's the idea. That's the idea. To try and help you guys locate items that are well made for a lot less than the big names on the block. That's the intent. We don't have a choice. That's how we've got to do things, and I wouldn't do it any other way. But if there is an item that you really do need to go with the big boy on the block, I will let you know. Just like the multi-tools. I will tell you, without a doubt. Aside from like Victorinox, I think I said that right. If I didn't, forgive me. They're the ones that make the original Swiss Army knife. Aside from them, it's going to be hard-pressed to find the same type of quality as Leatherman. Really hard-pressed. Really, really hard-pressed. So just keep that in mind. I'm not saying don't go out and buy yourself a Gerber or an SOG or but I'm saying if you can at all squeeze out being able to get a Leatherman, do so. But you know the saying, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. So I understand, the Leatherman I've got on my side right now, $90. Okay? I understand. That took a dent out of us. And believe me, I had to close my eyes when I clicked that buy button. But to imagine buying 2 of them just to know that I had a backup? No way. However, I won't think twice about grabbing a couple of SOGs for the same price. Okay? Putting one in Jen's pack, putting one in my pack. Because, hey, what happens if I lose mine or I do break it somehow? You know, you do have to have backups. But like I said, there are certain items that you really are better going with a recognized brand. Not many items, but there are some. Anyway, again, be prepared. Whatever it is, we've got something coming our way. I can't sit here and tell you exactly when it's going to come, and I can't sit here and tell you exactly what it is. I'd be a false prophet if I did. But we've got something coming. Big. And those that aren't prepared are screwed. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. My intent is try in my best ability to make that as many as I can. To get as many people on board with even just putting some extra food back. That's the big thing. Food. Food. Okay? There's a lot of things that I'm more than willing to help out with if you're here local to me. But I can't help you with food. I can't. We don't have enough. Can't. I just had a discussion with a neighbor the other day, over the weekend. And that was the exact thing I said to him. You know, hey, look, you know, if you're on board, great, you know, but you got to have your own food. And I sat there and explained to them, you know, look, if Jen and I have, you know, say 6 months worth of food, and we add in, that's 2 people, we add in a third person, what happens to that supply? It diminishes real damn quick. Real quick. And I'm not going to do that. We are the ones that sacrificed for that. Not going to be any free rides. You know? So food, that's the big thing. Food. But otherwise, if it's other things, like if he has a broken item that needs repaired or whatever the case, yeah, I'm on it. All about that. All about that. Because that's what it's about. In fact, we're going to be playing a video today from Nuttin' Fancy that he had put out over the weekend that was astonishing. Hit the nail on the head. Hit the nail on the head. And I think it's a video that a lot of people need to hear. We got way too many of the lone wolf mentality out there. Probably not a good plan. You know, a lot of people out there that ain't, you know, they're not quite lone wolves, but they've got their little group of people and that's it. That is it. Probably not the best of plans, you know. But I'll play that video later on and you'll see what he has to say. I think he hits the nail on the head. Let's see. EU submissively following U.S. and rejecting Russia's proposals on INF treaty. These are from today, by the way. Sorry, I forgot to update that. Trump moves to effectively end asylum at the southern border. He's got my thumbs up for that. This whole asylum thing is being used as an excuse. They're perverting and using the system by using that word, asylum. Oh, asylum. Let me in. You know, no. It needs to be stopped. Needs to be stopped. We've got to put an end to what is happening. It's not anti-immigration. It's not racist. It's not, you know, whatever. It's not. It's called responsibility. Responsibility. Feds warn against storming Area 51. The military stands ready. Let's see. That's the video we'll be playing later. Russian S-400 benefits NATO. U.S. should do what strategic partnership entails, says Erdogan. U.S. draft bill seeks to ban big tech from taking over economy with private cryptocurrencies. You see that move being making something? Yeah. You see that move? They're trying to garner complete control over the money. Because they've had complete control over the money. Now it's starting to slip away. Not just on an international front, but even within our own nation. That control over money is starting to slip away with the advent of cryptocurrencies. And so now they're trying to get a hold on that. It's all about control, folks. It's all about control. Remember that when you go place your ballot, that you're not actually doing anything but picking who it is that's going to control over you. You, a free, living, breathing human being that God wanted to be free. And you are putting somebody in control over you. Think about that. 2 killed, dozens injured after amusement park ride snaps in half in India. That was pretty tragic. I'm not going to play the video here. I have watched the video. Wow. I'm not a big fan of rides. I'm just not, and that's why. I'm just that lucky soul, right? That 1 million people have rode that ride, not a problem in the world. I get on it, and I'm flying through the air 2,000 feet, right? That's my luck. A crowd of UFO fans seeking to raid Area 51 hits 1 million despite U.S. Air Force warning. Because it's a joke. Joke. Nobody's actually going there to raid Area 51. It amazes me. 280 plus arrested as Algeria football fans go on rampage in French cities. You know, I posted this because it really amplifies the ignorance of society. There are a lot of reasons we need to go on a rampage. The least of being is sports. But we have similar things happen here in the United States as well. It's not just over across the pond. It happens here too. Deeply hypocritical, UK government vows to protect media freedom as Assange sits in British jail. Typical hypocrites. I mean, that's all you can say. They do the same thing here. Take protesting, for example. You know, protests flare up in other countries, and you know, these countries bring out the water cannons and the tear gas, whatever, and all of a sudden the U.S. government's like, oh, you can't do that to those people, that's against human rights. You know, what's the first thing they do when we have protests break out here? Right? I mean, you've got iconic video of officers just spraying people down with pepper spray that are actually already got their hands restrained behind their back. They're sitting in a crosswalk, and the officer just walks by spraying them. I'm sure many of you probably know the video that I'm speaking of. You know, the same officer that cried and whined and threw a fit because his life was now destroyed because of that video. You know, made everybody else, you know, look bad. He was the victim. Yeah, that's how it typically works. How it typically works. Again, not going to change until we change it. Hong Kong leader denounces rioters following violent skirmishes between demonstrators and police. China's slowing economy still shows growth that any country would envy. I shared that. I haven't looked into that. I do know that they still are making a considerable growth, but that's understandable. I mean, look at where a majority of the products come from. That's going to happen. It's going to happen, and it's going to switch from country to country. I'll tell you what, India is really jumping up in as far as the amount of income that they're bringing into their nation. India is really climbing that ladder fast. And the United States can do it again, too. We've just got to get the greedy people out of government, out of Wall Street, out of big business, and we can once again thrive. But we got to have jobs back here, and here's the important thing. We have to be willing to pay the people, right? Part of what made this country so great and so strong and so prosperous was because the people were at least relatively happy. They were content. They could go to work. They could put in their 40 hours a week, afford to live, afford all of their bills, their food, their medicine, their home, and still be able to put back money into a nest egg, and be able to put money into a nest egg. People were pretty content. They were pretty happy. Okay? That's what you get when you have happy people. If you own a business and you've got employees that dread coming to work and they can't stand you, that is going to reflect. That is going to reflect to your clientele. But if you got employees that come to work for you and they're happy because they love their job, that as well is going to reflect. And that business will thrive because people that are seeking a product or a service don't want bullshit with it. They want somebody that's well informed, somebody with a good attitude. You know the drill. What do you want? You want somebody that hates life serving you or somebody that loves it? Well, you can't pay people poverty wages so they're half starving, don't know how they're going to pay off their student loan debt or this or that or the other thing, or don't know how they're going to afford their medications or anything like that, and expect to have a strong, prosperous country. Get your head out of your ass. You know, this ain't about the guy or girl flipping burgers at McDonald's wanting $15 an hour. This is about our entire labor force. All of it. I agree that somebody flipping burgers at McDonald's shouldn't make as much as an EMT. I agree with you wholeheartedly. But why is that the question? Why is that the argument? Why is it that we can't talk about how all of them need to make more money? All of them. Not just the McDonald's employee. All of them. But yet people don't seem to have any problem with funneling millions of dollars into the pockets of the CEOs of these companies. They don't seem to have a problem with that. They don't seem to have a problem with all the corporate subsidies that the government gives them or how they get out of all the taxes. Oh, no problem there. But let's worry about the guy that wants to be able to afford his own medication. He's a piece of crap. The nerve of him wanting to be able to eat and take care of his blood pressure or whatever the case. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's inhumane. It's un-American. And it has no place in any functional, working, successful society. But you got to step back a little bit from your feelies and take a look at it. Look at it with logic and common sense. Again, revert back to what I said about the companies and whether or not they have happy employees or angry, mad, pissed off employees. That's going to reflect. And that company that's got happy employees are going to do better. Plain and simple. Well, guess what? The corporation of the United States would do a hell of a lot better if they had happy employees too. Just logic. Anyway, this isn't surprising. We don't know how well antidepressants work. Danish study blows lid off of flawed medical research. Most of these drugs that they're giving people for depression or for anxiety or what, they have never even been approved for those causes. Most of them are like dietary supplements because that way they can get fast-tracked through the FDA so the big pharma can start lining their pockets as quickly as possible, and to hell with whatever happens with the person taking the poison. It's crazy. Absolutely mind-blowing. PayPal co-founder Thiel says FBI and CIA should probe Google over infiltration by China and the media. Probably so. Hundreds of millions of dollars needed to stave off Ebola outbreak in Congo, the UN aid chief warns. Now, this is a headline you better pay very close attention to, because you may hear what I just read to you, but that's not what I hear. Let me read you the headline again. Hundreds of millions of dollars needed to stave off Ebola outbreak in Congo, UN aid chief warns. Now that's the headline, word for word. The reality of the situation is they've lost control of it. This is a concern. This is a very, very serious concern. Something we should probably prep for a little more too. It's a pandemic type of situation. That's not an area that we've really focused on, but it's something we probably need to put a little bit more into. Let's see. China threatens to sever ties with any U.S. firm linked to selling weapons to Taiwan. India and Russia will use their national currencies for defense deals to bypass U.S. sanctions, says a report. I have no doubt of that. Rightfully so, in my opinion. They bite. Russia test fires Mosquito anti-ship missiles in Sea of Japan. Huawei to move 1,000 jobs from U.S. to Italy, plus a $3 billion investment to boot. Yeah, because we're winning so much, right? Winning. C-section of Russia's Nord Stream 2 natural gas pipeline is 60% complete. Europeans talk big but not ready to invest in saving nuclear deal, says the Iranian Foreign Minister Zarif. Israeli firm spying on Palestinians says it only works with democratic countries. Technical incident puts Europe's GPS system fully offline for days. This is crazy. Italian police seize missile, guns, and neo-Nazi material in raid on far-right militants. Now, mind you, that missile is an air-to-air missile, so I guess they forgot to steal the plane to be able to use it. I don't know. I'm sure you could set it up and somehow get it to fire, I guess. I don't know much about missiles, but not sure how much of this I buy into. Could be 100% true. But sounds awful suspicious, like a lot of things uncovered here that are actually helped out by the government. UK government unveils plan to teach school kids about fake news. What could go wrong? Indoctrination, that's what could go wrong. Mom arrested after daughter licks tongue depressor and puts it back in jar at doctor's office. Is this not disgusting? The ice cream thing was bad enough, but then this dumb woman, she films it and puts it out there because she's stupid. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. So anyway, she could face up to 30 years for this. You know, this is ridiculous. Right? I even have a higher expectation of going to a doctor's office than what I do going to a grocery store. Okay? I mean, I would hope that somebody didn't lick the ice cream that I picked off the shelf, but that's more likely, I think, going to happen than somebody licking the tongue depressor at the doctor's office. So I have a little bit of a higher expectancy at the doctor's office to be dealing with something that's sanitary, right? That's sterile. It's crazy. I do. I hope they string her up. Man dies after stealing car with kids inside, beaten by crowd, says police. Can I get an amen? This is how we need to deal with these things, folks. We need to stop relying on the government, including police and judges and blah, blah. Oh, my God, but you're talking, oh, my God, we can't just run the wild, wild west. Yeah, you can get all emotional if you want. But the truth of the matter is, we get shit done The government doesn't. The government steals, literally steals, tons of money from us and doesn't do jack for us. They really and truly don't. The social programs aren't a help. Are you kidding me? I just seen a post today from Hernandez is the last name. Tim Lee, I believe, is his first name. He had a viral story 2-3 years back. He was, I think at the time he was on his deathbed actually, and he had a cell phone, but nobody called it, and he just wanted somebody to call him. He wanted to know that somebody out there cared. You may or may not remember this story. And a couple of news stations picked up on it, and before long it went international news. And he had so many phone calls that the tower couldn't even handle all the phone calls that was coming into his phone. I don't know if any of you remember that story or not. But there was a post today, because they've got a Facebook page. I've been a member of it ever since. And there was a post today how he's at the VA, and they're starting an operation that they had stopped. Right as they had started the operation, they just that quickly stopped the operation because they had to come up with $800 right there, right then and there, before they would do the operation. Now, this is a man that was injured, over in, I can't remember if it was Afghanistan or Iraq, right? He was over there in the name of this country and injured severely, right? And he's being denied medical treatment because for whatever reason the VA needed $800. This is not how we should be doing this. This is not how we should be doing this. We have prisoners dying because they don't have access to needed, medical attention or medications, right? But then we've got other prisoners that are getting their sex transition operations paid for. What sense does this make? Crazy. If we want to fix this, we have to do it. And when you jeopardize children like that in a carjacking and a crowd of people beat you to death, you get no remorse from me, and I damn well hope you get no quarter. What could have happened if that vehicle was involved in a chase and wrecked at a high speed? No remorse from me. U.S. Women's World Cup star lashes out over claims team is not welcoming to Christians. This lady, I'll tell you what, winning the U.S. Women's World Cup should be something to be proud of, should be something really remarkable. But this woman here, and she's not the only one with crazy thoughts on the team, but this one woman here single-handedly has destroyed anything that they had accomplished. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. If she hates this country so much, then she shouldn't want any of the money for winning the World Cup, right? If she, hates this country so much, certainly she wouldn't want to benefit from this country, would she? If you're not happy, you can leave. Hey, that needs to be a song, right? What was that song that sounds something similar to that? If you clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Yeah. If you're not happy, you can leave. Anyway, I'll quit singing. Anyway, yeah, if you're not happy, you can leave. Trump stands by his tweet slamming Dem Squad. We do need to make that a song, though. With the claps. It's got to have the claps in it. That's important. Netanyahu compares EU approach to Iran with appeasement of Nazi Germany before World War III. I think the most idiotic thing in the world is a genocidal Zionist trying to play the Holocaust card. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's absurd. absurd. Anyway, that's the last headline I have for you. We'll end the monologue. I'm sure many people are probably ready to end my life about now, and that's fine. That's good. As long as I got you to think. That's the important thing. You'll figure it out eventually. You just need to think. And I hope maybe I could at least get some people to that point. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close up the monologue, and we'll continue on with the rest of the show. I do have some awesome stuff for you to play for you, so I hope you'll stay tuned for that. For those that are here for the live show, we'll be live till 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. For those that are here just for the monologue, or you're watching the recording thereof, thank you very much. As always, God bless you, we love you, and be one with your spirit.